Hey y'all, welcome back to Convos with Bree. I'm Bree, Bree, and today I want to dive in a little bit deeper on the meaning of peace. Today is day 62 of the Visibility Challenge, and yesterday on day 61, I shared with you something that absolutely changed my life, and that was looking at peace and prosperity growing together. I looked at peace as the soil that grows prosperity, and it changed my entire way of living, of being, of thinking, all of it. It allowed me to connect so deeply with the understanding that the healthier my peace is, the more peace I have, the more prosperous I am, the more healthily it grows. That took like this huge weight out of my chest, off of my shoulders, just off of my body altogether. And it set it free. And prior to finding these words and this flow of being able to say them, I was really struggling to understand what it meant to be peaceful. Because to me, I thought peace meant I had to be calm. So then when I had emotions, I just wanted to get to calm. But I was doing something subtly that I didn't know I was doing, which was taking a false sense of peace. And I was really just checking out. I was just telling myself to death, it's all good, everything's fine. But unconsciously, I was still running all my worry, a lot of stress, and I wasn't being as honest as I needed to be about it. So when I started really diving into, well, what is peace? How do I get my healthiest soil? I realized it's it's just being more honest about what I'm feeling, but it's really taking a beat before I respond. That is when everything really started to change for me. And when I started to cross over into feeling more of this peace, I stopped needing an immediate response. I started to recognize that I owed myself the time to allow myself to process my own emotions before I put them anywhere else. Because one thing that I noticed that was really affecting my peace was this loop that I would get stuck in, where I would respond quickly and then I would find myself thinking about it and rehashing it and wishing I would have done something differently, wishing I would have said something else. And I was really questioning everything, and it was really making me feel disconnected from within. It made me feel really far away from myself. Once I started to feel the emotion coming up, and I would I would always find myself going instead of and then lashing. I felt it, I was aware of it, and then I blew it out. And I reminded myself, this is a tool. This is a place for you to pause, to connect more deeply within, to be here now. Who is it that you want to be? And I started connecting this really cool thing. And that is that every single thing that comes my way, I started to look at it like this is a test, not to see how much I can withstand. This is a test to see who I truly am. Am I truly peaceful? Am I truly present? Or in this moment, am I going to be triggered and bring something up from years ago or from days ago or something that I haven't resolved or something that someone else did to me? Am I hauling that along? Am I going to say something spiteful with vengeance, out of anger, out of frustration? Am I still that version of myself? Or am I going to show up kind? Am I going to show up curious? What am I going to do here? And so every time I found myself wanting to respond in a way that I previously did not love, in a way that previously sent me into my loop, spiraling, questioning, all of it. Was I going to respond that way again? Was I going to repeat my own patterns that I knew I didn't want to repeat? Was I going to choose to stay in that version of myself? Or was I going to evolve? Was I going to find a more peaceful path, a way that felt more connected and more alive within, with who I am now and where I'm going? And I would pause and I would take a breath, and I still do this every single time. I pause, I take a beat, and I remind myself that nothing needs an immediate response. There is very little in life that needs an immediate response. And even those things, you typically have a beat to pause, to take a couple breaths, and then respond. Anything that does not allow me space, I need to look at something different. Why are they trying to get an immediate response out of me? And typically, in most situations, it's because they're trying to rush me. I don't need to be rushed. I don't need to allow that in my life. And I can choose whatever I want to choose. That is my free will. It's in my responses. And the better I get at this, the less I have to think about it, the less I hold back and find myself, and the more I find myself just sitting back and processing. Or I find myself saying, I'm going to need a beat with that. That's interesting. Let me get back to you on that. I can communicate it too. That feels so good. That is where I stop doing and saying things that don't feel connected within. That is where I consistently started being this version of myself. That is where I found all of the things that I had been searching for. And then I give myself time. I give myself time to understand that this is who I am now. This is what peace feels like to me. This is where my soil is the healthiest, where I feel the most alive and connected with my internal and my external world. And that's all I was really looking for. That's the peace. That's the change that I needed. It's all within. If you guys want a deeper dive, you can pop on over to convoswithbree.com. I wrote a really phenomenal blog about this today. It's under the reflections. It's called Are You Calm or Have You Just Checked Out? The reflection questions are great. You can do your own deep dive today. and let me know how this felt. I love to hear from y'all. And remember, nothing that is meant for you will miss you. Be here now.